While newsman Ben Silver was held by Batista police for 7 days during another attempt to make contact with the revolutionaries. Castro triumphed in 1959, and the WCKT news team was in Havana when he arrived. They remained to film the circus-like trials of real and suspected Batista henchmen. Channel 7 News Director Gene Stroll interviewed Castro at 3 a.m. in a Havana TV studio. Last year, newsman Ben Silver crossed the Florida Straits in a small boat to film the beginning of a new Cuban exodus, part of a continuing story. Events frequently have taken us to the Dominican Republic, from the bloody end of dictator Rafael Trujillo to the present turmoil. As far back as 6 years ago, we were covering political unrest in remote places like British Guiana. Channel 7 newsmen consider the Caribbean their special territory, from nearby Nassau to distant Trinidad. They know the area well, and most important, they know its people and its problems. Other WCKT reporting assignments have taken our newsmen to places as different and distant from Miami as North Africa, Italy, England, and France. But our most extensive visit abroad occurred in 1959, a 10,000-mile tour of the Soviet Union. That story in a moment. My Iron Curtain Odyssey began in Moscow, where I interviewed Russian citizens in the shadow of the Kremlin. Florida's Governor Leroy Collins led a group of 9 colleagues on a 3-week tour of 7 Soviet cities. Newsman Ben Silver and I were the only TV journalists to accompany them on what proved to be an extraordinary inside view of the communist motherland. It was an exhausting whirlwind tour that took us from the sunny Black Sea resorts to primitive Samarkand and Alma-Ata, a village on the tense Russia-China border. But we saw things few Westerners had seen before. Of course, we were in the hands of Red officials all the way, and it was their intention that we not see everything. We were treated like honored guests, but watched closely wherever we went. In Dubna, we were allowed to film what was described to us as the largest cyclotron in the world, but the Russians wouldn't let us photograph the outside of the building because the walls had cracked. We found the Soviet Union a grim place for all its technological achievements, but came away impressed with the progress the Russians had made in converting their vast feudal nation into a modern industrial giant. The cordon of tourist guides and other officials that constantly surrounded our party kept the Soviet man in the street at arm's length. But this did not scare off the black marketeers who offered to buy everything we owned. The high point of our trip was an audience with Nikita Khrushchev. The burly, boisterous premier was in an expansive mood. It was a moment reporters dream about. Khrushchev made the usual boasts about the superiority of communism as he shook hands with each of us, including myself and WCKT's Ben Silver. Upon our return to Florida, Governor Collins helped narrate an hour-long documentary of our Russian tour entitled The Red Star. Governor Collins made these closing remarks.
As well as informative. And I'd like to thank you for taking the time out from your busy schedule to come in and talk with our Channel 7 viewers and give the people of South Dade a report on that trip.
Thank you, Wayne, and you honor me by inviting me here, and I hope that I have a moment to express our great appreciation for your presence with us on that trip and that of Ben Silver. You all added greatly to it, and this station is to be commended for the high quality of interest in public service which caused the decision to be made to have you go along with us, and it was a great privilege for us to have you.
The Red Star was the first in a long series of documentaries and special reports exposing the aims and methods of communism, both at home and throughout the hemisphere. In 1960, WCKT produced a series of 22 reports on the activities of Reds in the Miami area. As a result, the Senate Internal Security Subcommittee held a hearing in Miami, and several individuals named by WCKT defected to Cuba. Congressman Francis Walter, chairman of the House Committee on Un-American Activities, had this comment on WCKT's efforts.
Very significant contribution, and I want to congratulate you on the efforts that you put forth to bring to the people an awareness of this menace. It's a tragic thing that the American people don't realize that, after all, we are the object of the communist drive for world domination, and it's only through the efforts of people like yourselves that there has come to the people an appreciation of what this real menace really is, and I congratulate you sincerely.
Thank you. WCKT has also exposed the dangers of racism and the radical right. Documentaries have explored the conspiracy theories of John Stormer, Billy James Hargis, and other missionaries of reaction. WCKT has examined Let Freedom Ring, a Florida-based group specializing in anonymous, pre-recorded right-wing telephone attacks heard nationwide. Our reports were followed by a telephone company decision to reveal the sources of the vicious messages. The Ku Klux Klan re-invaded South Florida on a summer night in 1965. Robert Shelton, Imperial Wizard of the United Klans of America, presided. Klan organizer Charles Riddle-Hoover was later arrested in Miami after a series of WCKT documentaries. In an exclusive interview with newsman Ben Silver, it helped convict Riddle-Hoover of an illegal weapons charge. After an abortive hate campaign against WCKT, the disorganized night riders retreated. WCKT's anti-slum crusade began in 1960 and is still going strong. Our initial Miami Condemned series supported urban renewal. More recent programs have urged more concern for the housing needs of the poor and an end to the cynical practice of not enforcing safety and housing standards both in and out of the urban renewal area. In February of this year, a slum area rooming house burned, killing 7 children and 3 adults. A special documentary, Fire in the Ashes, exposed a pattern of bad laws and official neglect and led to passage of a strict new city fire code. City Commissioner Atherley Range responded.
I happen to have seen the production by Channel 7 last night, and I want to take a moment here to commend Channel 7 for the very thorough coverage of this catastrophe we had. And I would certainly like to know that an investigation is going to be made, and at this time I may offer a resolution. I would like to do that.
Sure may, Mrs. Raines.
Another documentary, Hall of Shame, exposed the problems of homosexuality and general overcrowding at Youth Hall, the county's juvenile detention facility. A grand jury investigation and action to build a new youth hall followed. WCKT newsmen have also investigated and exposed secrecy in state and local government. A documentary series, The Right to Know, explored the controversial question of pre-trial news coverage versus the rights of the accused. Earlier this year, WCKT explored the nightmare world of drug addiction. A pair of heroin addicts gave first-person accounts of how dope consumed their lives and drove them to theft and prostitution to support their habits. WCKT also exposed the underworld of marijuana and LSD and the activities of a strange religious cult called the Neo-American Church. Their leader was subsequently indicted